Alex here with eXp Realty. I sell houses here in the Sac Metro area, and I put this blog post out today. Bay Area equity, Quad County ranchettes, what 850,000 actually buys you. I did this because we have a lot of buyers that are coming up here from the Bay Area, not being totally informed about what the Quad County area of Sac Metro really has to offer in the form of ranchettes. And so let's go over a couple things here. Quad County area, I'm talking about Sacramento, Yolo, El Dorado, and Placer. That's what I consider the Quad County area of the Sac Metro region. We have access to other markets out there, but those are the ones that we mainly focus on. And then when we're talking about ranchettes, in this case, I'm focused on the market of 5 to 10 acre properties, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. So if you're out there thinking, well, it's not enough acreage, it's too much acreage, maybe I want a house that's bigger, whatever, we can go in and make those adjustments. But just for this example and what we're focused on here today, to give you an idea of what's going on in our market compared to the Bay Area markets and what your dollars buy up here, that's what I chose to focus on. So if you have specific needs, I can go in and create a specific report based on what you're looking for. So, like I said, we're comparing the two markets because, like I said, I have buyers that come up and they are looking in this market. They've lived in the Bay Area, they've built up their equity, and they're like, look, I'm ready to move. I want to get out. I want to have land, do a garden, raise animals, whatever it is. Uh, that's what people are coming up here for. I have buyers calling me on a daily basis, and what I've done is gone in and done my market research based on, like I described, that market of 5 to 10 acre, 2 to 3,000 square feet in the Quad County area, and of them there was 171 ranchettes that came up in the Quad County area, and we're going to go in and take a look at what those numbers look like. So, like I said, we're defining this as a developed property as opposed to raw land. There's a huge difference there. I do have conversations with buyers that come up and say, "Hey, I want to develop my own land. I want to go and buy raw land. I want to put in utilities. I want to drill my own well, put in my own septic. I want to do all of this." And in this market right now, the math isn't mathing. It just isn't, because the utilities, PG&E, can cost upwards of $75,000 to put in. The septic tanks up here are very expensive because most of the good land has been developed, and now we're on to the more difficult to develop land. And the wells, I have a client that bought a property, and we expected the well to go 150 feet. It went 400 feet. All of this adds up, but you don't need to do that because there's good inventory on the market right now. So I look at raw land, but I don't really encourage it unless you're really into something very specific as to what you're going to build. So let's look at some numbers. 171 ranchette profile properties were pulled in the one CMA report. Going in and look at the numbers, we have 60 active, 6 contingent, 14 pending, and 91 closed over the last 6 months. Looking at the various prices, median price for the active, 862, contingent, 822, pending, 699, kind of an outlier on the pending, and then closed, we're at 850. And that's why we're focused on that 850 market. When you're looking at days on market, it's revealing that the closed average days on market is 46, but the current active is 79. So we're seeing a longer marketing time when you're looking at the current days on market. And one of the reasons why we're finding this is that the seller of the ranchette properties, they're holding out for their price. And what do I mean by this? Look at the average closed price versus list price. We're at 99.5%. So I was on a listing appointment yesterday. I met with this woman. She lived in this house, has lived in this house for over 30 years. Beautiful 3 acre ranchette, bigger home than what we're looking at, 3,600 square feet. And I said, "Hey, what's your motivation for moving?" She's like, "Well, I just want to downsize. I'm not in a hurry to sell. I want to get my number." She knows what her house is worth. She's put her sweat and equity into this thing, blood, I'm sure, as well. And it's a beautiful property. And in her case, it's a 3-acre ranchette. It's fully fenced, ready for equestrian. Gardens are in. House has been updated. It is move-in ready. And this individual, it's not on the market yet, but I know she's going to hang out and wait for her price. And so that's reflected here at 99.5%. 46 days on the market average marketing time. And some of this is chewed up in the contract date. So if you go in and make an offer on a property, especially on ranchette properties, 30-day escrows are very common, and those go into that marketing time. 91 closed sales in the last 6 months. So let's break this down by county. This is important to note. When you're looking at El Dorado County, soil's a little bit different. A lot of red dirt soil up there. The typography is different, much more uneven typography. It's up more in the hills. And so we see a different median close price when we get up into El Dorado County. Yolo County, you see we have one closed sale. It's an outlier. It closed at 1.695. If you want details on that property, we can go in and take a look. But we're focused really on Placer County. 18 sales, 20% of the volume. The median price, 947.5. And the average price per square foot, I can't stress this enough. It is really relative to what's on that property. What is the condition of the outbuildings? Does it have a barn? Does it have equestrian? There are so many factors. Water. We have this thing called PCWA. It is ditch water. It is over 100 years old, and it is an open ditch water irrigation system that's existed in South Placer County, like I said, over 100 years. I live on a property and I get my ditch water from that. It's very unique, but if your property doesn't have adequate ditch water, it really takes away from the value of it. So it's important to understand this, that when we're looking at these properties and their sale price, there is no like cookie cutter. Like I have a listing in Roseville. It's a 3,000 square foot home in a subdivision. Cookie cutter, there really is no mystery as to what this house is worth because we have so many comps behind it that are exactly like it. When you're looking at ranchette property, like I said, you have all of these other factors that go into it. So this closed sale at 413, I should probably do a special video just on it to understand why it closed at that price. I would say the value was mostly in the land, and maybe the land wasn't ideal. This high price is just the opposite of that. I know Yolo County is mostly level land. I imagine it would be fully improved, great property. So when we're looking at these different comparables, you really have to dig deeper into them to understand what that property was. So let's jump in and take a look at what you can buy. So when you go in and look at $500,000 purchase in this region, there is $500,000 ranchette properties out here, but they're going to be in the medium to low range. I have a property I showed recently up near Grass Valley. Grass Valley. This was not a level lot. There was really only one place to build on it. Sure, it was 11 acres, but the usable acreage was less than a half an acre. And so it was available for 500,000. 750, we can get into some more turnkey ranchettes. Most of them need updating, and that's something I can't stress enough. We seem to get caught up in this idea of this all white or white and gray. I call it the new French country look with the shaker cabinets, that sort of thing. You're typically not going to find those in these properties. A lot of these properties, if it was built in, say, the 80s or 90s, it may have been updated once, but not totally updated. And so you have to have your expectation in line in that price range. When you get into the 900,000, you can get some more of those upgrades, more of those outbuildings. when you get up into the 950, you get more into the premier level, and then really you're in the top level at a million three and up. And when I say and up, there is some properties out there for 4 to 5 million that fit in this category, slightly bigger square footages, but that's a huge jump up in price, actually, as you can tell. And the house that you get for that is typically a newer home that's just completely remodeled. I love showing those houses, but there's just not a lot of buyers in that market right now. So this isn't a negotiation market. I want to stress this again by the average close price. What I'm finding right now is that we'll have a nationwide article published on the housing market and say, hey, the housing market in general is stagnant, or the prices are dropping, or there's foreclosures and these sort of things. I always read those and go, this is fear mongering. This is not what's going on, not in our market. And so anytime you read one of those articles on a national level, it's really important to come and apply what they're talking about to our local level. And I've gone in, I track and monitor the foreclosure short sale market pretty consistently, and we're just not seeing a huge spike in foreclosures, nowhere near what we saw in 09, 10, 11. I did short sale negotiations back then, and that market, let's just hope it never comes back. The point I want to make, though, is that when you go in to look at this market, 5 to 10 acre rural property, um, they're selling at list price. And one of the big reasons why is there's just not a lot of that inventory that comes on the market. Um, it average marketing time is 45, 46 days in this case. And so before I get a buyer out there looking at property, before I start sending them listings, I always set the expectation. I make sure that the property they're selling in the Bay Area is properly positioned. If it's not listed currently, we get it ready to list. We have agents with EXP down in the Bay Area that I connect people with that specialize in their market, and we go in and make sure that all of that listing work is done ahead of time. And that way, when you come up to, if you're going to buy in this market contingent, if you're going to do a contingency sale purchase, we have everything lined out. Now, we do have a lending partner that has a buy before you sell program, and it is phenomenal. We're doing more and more of these every day. That way, you can buy your property up here, get all moved into it, and then you can move out of your property, get it properly cleaned, staged, and positioned to sell, so you can get top dollar. If that describes your situation where you're holding back going, I would do this, I would consider this, but I just don't see how I can get my house sold and that one purchased, we have ways of navigating that for you. Now, let's talk about the CMA, comparative market analysis. I built this whole presentation on. Like I said, it is 2,000 to 3,000 square foot, 5 to 10 acre quad county area. That's not something that's going to fit most people. So if you're looking for something very specific, ADUs are really big right now. Everyone's looking for an ADU. Those ADU properties are selling at a premium. We can go in and put together a CMA report specifically on ADUs, shows you what's current, what's pending, and what has closed. Maybe you want a bigger house, maybe you want a smaller house, maybe your premium is on RV parking and garage area. So in the description, I've built this website specifically for land and ranch. We're looking at 5 acres or more, 2 to 3,000 square feet. And this, we call this evergreen. It's evergreen page because it updates to current active properties in MLS. And it shows you what's available on the market at any given time. And you can go in, click around, and see what's available. So I'll put a link to this down in the description. Currently, right now, there is 102 in our Quad County area. Go in and take a look. You can look at different neighborhoods, different regions, whatever it is. But it's just kind of handy just to give you an idea of what's currently available in the market. For a more in-depth look at the market, I had my researchers put together this blog post where we went in and looked at the 171 real MLS transactions across Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado counties. And then we go in and break them down so that you understand better what the market is doing and what to expect when you enter the market for the ranchettes. So just to wrap this up, if you want a specific CMA, comparative market analysis report built for you, or maybe you want a specific website built for you for the type of house that you're looking for, we can go in and do that. I'm very thankful we have this technology where we can go in and do it fairly quickly. That way, your search is perfectly tailored for you. Not only the property search, but also your market research. So you can go in and look at those numbers. So just reach out to me. I get calls every day from people, especially from the Bay Area, wanting to make this this transition up here. And that's why I've done this. I was finding myself answering the same questions over and over again. And as a specialist in land and ranch in this market right here, I just felt it was important to go out there, make a video so that I could educate the market and establish that expectation in advance. So I look forward to your comments. My phone number is here. You can reach out to me. My email address will be down below my website. All the information will be included in the description. And if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to thank you for sticking around and looking at what I've put together in that land and ranch space. All right, I look forward to your questions and comments. Please join my channel, subscribe, like my video. I look forward to your comments, and I will catch you next time.